What if I told you that some of the exercise habits many people over 60 have trusted for decades might actually be slowing your progress instead of improving your health? I know that sounds bold, but stay with me for a moment. Even as a medical professional who studies aging science daily, what I'm about to share genuinely surprised me, and it's something every adult over 60 deserves to know. In early 2024, this team of researchers at one of Europe's leading universities conducted one of the largest and most detailed long-term studies ever done on aging and physical performance. Over 8,000 adults, all above the age of 60, were tracked closely for nearly 5 years. At first, it seemed like a typical comparison between walking routines and strength-focused exercises. But the results shocked even the scientists running the study. In fact, they were so stunned that they repeated the analysis twice just to confirm the findings. Here's what they discovered. Participants who swapped their usual daily walks for a short routine of 5 targeted exercises reduced their risk of falling by more than 70%. That alone is life-changing. But what really turned heads was the strength increase, improvement approaching 90%. Yes, you heard that correctly. Their strength didn't just improve a little, it practically doubled. And to make it even more unbelievable, these participants spent significantly less time exercising compared to the walking group around. 40% less total weekly exercise time, yet they outperformed walkers in every category. Blood pressure? Better improvements? Joint pain? Dramatically reduced? Balance, bone density, endurance, and even mobility? All significantly higher. But the most shocking revelation is this: the number one exercise on the list, the one responsible for the biggest jump in longevity markers, requires no equipment, no gym membership, and almost no learning curve. Astonishing 94% of adults in the study were able to perform it correctly on their very first try. This simple movement had an unexpected benefit. It triggered a biological reaction inside the body that scientists now believe helps your cells behave as if they were years younger. Some researchers even hinted that it might help extend your active lifespan, the number of years you remain strong, independent, and confident on your feet. Now, before we dive into the exercises, I want you to do one thing for me. Drop your age and your country or city in the comments below. I genuinely read every comment, and it helps us create better, more personalized, senior-friendly guides. All right, let's jump into the routine that's helping thousands of adults over 60 future-proof their bodies. Starting with exercise number 5. Let us begin our countdown with exercise #5. Wall push-ups, with a hold, an incredibly simple move that delivers far more benefits than most people realize. At first glance, it might look too basic to make a real difference, but don't let its simplicity fool you. Several recent studies on adults over 60 have shown that this variation activates muscles in a way that traditional push-ups or fast-paced movements simply don't match. One standout study published in 2023 examined adults over 60 who practiced a slow, controlled wall push-up routine for just 8 weeks. The findings were eye-opening. Participants gained over 30% more upper body strength compared to those doing more common arm exercises. Why? Because the hold portion of the movement increases something called time under tension, which is a major driver of strength development, especially as we age. See, after we cross 60, most people lose 2 to 3% of their muscle mass every year, unless they intentionally work to maintain it. But it doesn't just affect appearance, it affects independence. Weak arms and shoulders make daily tasks harder, pushing open a heavy door, carrying groceries, supporting yourself when getting up, or even catching yourself if you slip. Building strength in these areas isn't optional, it's essential. Here's how to perform this exercise correctly and safely. Stand about 1 arm's length away from a wall. Place your palms flat against the wall at shoulder height and a little wider than shoulder width. Keep your feet together or slightly apart, whichever feels more stable. Slowly bend your elbows and lean toward the wall until your face comes close to it. Pause and hold this position for 3 to 5 seconds. This hold is where the magic happens. Push yourself back to the starting position over 2 seconds. The ideal tempo looks like this. 2 seconds in gives 3 to 5 second hold, gives 2 seconds out. This deliberate, controlled pace creates deeper muscle activation and engages stabilizing muscles that fast repetitions completely miss. You'll feel your chest, shoulders, triceps, and even your core working. Start with 5 slow repetitions, and over time, work your way up to 15. If it becomes too easy, simply step your feet farther from the wall. If it's too challenging, move closer. That's the beauty of this move. It adapts to any strength level. Another fascinating discovery from balance researchers in Canada showed that seniors who performed wall push-ups with holds 3 times weekly improved not only their pushing strength, but also their reaction time, which is a major factor in preventing falls. The hold improves proprioception, your body's internal GPS system that senses where you are in space. This ability often declines with age, but exercises like this help preserve it. Now that we've boosted your upper body strength, let's move to exercise number 4, a deceptively powerful movement for your legs and walking stability. Coming in at number 4 is an exercise that looks gentle at first glance, but is surprisingly powerful. Seated leg lifts with resistance. Many people assume that anything done while sitting must be easy, but research over the past few years has repeatedly shown that this movement can dramatically improve walking speed, stair climbing ability, and lower body strength in adults over 60. In fact, one major study published in 2024 reported that seniors who practice this exercise several times per week increased their walking speed by nearly 30%, an improvement doctors often describe as life-changing. Why is walking speed such a big deal? Because in the medical world, it's now considered one of the best predictors of longevity. Many clinicians even refer to it as the 6th vital sign. The faster and more confidently you walk, the healthier your overall system tends to be: heart, lungs, muscles, nerves, and balance. The reason this exercise works so well is that it focuses on the hip flexors, quadriceps, and deep core muscles, the very muscles responsible for lifting your feet when you walk and providing stability when you climb steps or rise from a chair. Walking alone doesn't strengthen these areas enough because it doesn't offer meaningful resistance. Seated leg lifts fix that. Here's how to perform them correctly. Sit tall in a sturdy chair with your back supported and feet flat on the floor. Keep your core gently engaged and your chest lifted. Slowly extend your right leg forward until it straightens as much as comfortably possible. Aim to lift it to about parallel with the floor, but it's okay if you can reach that height at first. Hold a lifted position for 2 seconds, feeling your thigh muscles working. Lower your leg back down, but here's the key. Don't let your foot fully rest on the floor. Stop just before it touches, keeping tension in the muscles. Repeat 10 to 15 times, then switch legs. Once you're comfortable with the basic version, you can gradually increase difficulty. Add a light ankle weight, loop a resistance band around your ankles, or place a small pillow between your knees to work the inner thighs as well. Over time, this progressive resistance encourages continuous growth in both strength and balance. Another major benefit of this exercise is what scientists call unilateral training, working one side at a time. As we age, muscle imbalances naturally develop, often without us noticing. One leg may be slightly weaker, slower, or less stable than the other. By training each leg independently, you can correct these imbalances, which leads to smoother walking and a lower fall risk. Now that we've strengthened your legs at a foundational level, it's time to shift our focus to a movement that directly improves ankle stability, circulation, and balance, 3 abilities that are critical for staying independent. Let's move on to exercise number 3. If you're over the age of 60, there's a good chance you've already noticed that certain everyday movements, like climbing a step, standing on your toes to reach a cupboard, or getting up from a chair, feel slightly less effortless than they used to. And while it's easy to blame aging, the truth is far more empowering. Your body isn't slowing down because of age alone. It's slowing down because the deep, stabilizing muscles in your feet, ankles, and calves aren't receiving the kind of stimulus they need to stay awake and responsive. That's where today's exercise, heel raises with balance, challenge, makes its entrance. Now, if you've done simple heel raises before, that's great. But I want to introduce a variation that not only strengthens your calves, but also targets your balance, reflexes, and ankle stability. This is a subtle shift, but the difference in results can be dramatic. Let's break it down. Start by standing behind a chair, countertop, or any stable support. Place your fingertips lightly on it, not leaning, just steadying yourself. Now slowly lift your heels off the ground as high as you comfortably can. Instead of rushing up and down, I want you to imagine lifting through the crown of your head, lengthening your spine, and rising slowly as if you're being pulled upward by a string. Here's the twist. Once you've reached the top of the movement, pause for a full 2 seconds. This little pause forces all the small stabilizer muscles in your ankles and lower legs to activate. These are the exact muscles that prevent trips, wobbles, and falls. Most people skip this part, and that's why their heel raises don't create real change. Now lower your heels again, gently, with full control. Don't let gravity drop you. Think of the lowering phase as equally important as the lifting. After 10 repetitions, try the next level. Reduce your hand support from fingertips to just one finger, then eventually to hovering your hand above the chair without touching it. This small progression transforms a simple exercise into a powerful balance builder. If you want a further progression, you can shift your weight slightly forward, backward, side to side while holding the raised position. This awakens deeper stabilizers that usually stay dormant as we age. Why is this exercise so effective? Because it addresses 3 major issues that commonly appear after 60: weak calf muscles leading to slower walking speed, poor ankle stability, which increases fall risk, delayed neuromuscular response, meaning the body reacts too slowly during a misstep. Heel raises with balance challenge helps retrain your mind-muscle connection, which is one of the first things to decline as we age, but also one of the easiest to rebuild once you know the right approach. By practicing this daily or even every other day, you're rebuilding the strength and responsiveness that help you move confidently, walk longer distances, and stay steady in the real world and uneven ground, slippery floors, or when carrying groceries. Let's move on to the next exercise, which brings even more functional strength into your daily life. Now re-stepping into one of the most powerful movements for anyone over 60, the modified squat to chair. If there's one exercise that directly translates into real-life independence, it's this one. Every time you sit down, stand up, get out of a car, or rise from the edge of your bed, you're essentially performing a squat. The problem is, most people lose this strength gradually without realizing it, until suddenly standing up feels like effort instead of something automatic. But here's the good news. This decline isn't irreversible. In fact, research shows that strengthening the muscles involved in squatting your quads, glutes, hips, and core can reverse years of functional loss in just weeks. And you don't need a gym, weights, or fancy equipment. You just need a sturdy chair and a safe mindset. Let's start with the basic setup. Stand right in front of the chair with your feet hip-width apart. Your toes should point forward or slightly outward, whichever feels natural and doesn't strain your knees. Before you do anything, I want you to imagine your spine lengthening, shoulders relaxing, and your weight evenly distributed across both feet. This simple mental cue prevents collapsing or rounding through the back. Now begin the movement by pushing your hips back first, as if you were trying to gently tap your butt toward the chair. Don't think about bending your knees first, think about shifting your hips. This protects your knees and engages the powerful muscles of your hips and thighs. Slowly lower yourself down toward the seat, keeping your chest proud and your gaze forward. Once you lightly touch the chair, pause for a split second. Here comes the twist that makes this version more effective than a typical sit and stand drill. Don't relax fully into the chair. Instead, tap it lightly. Keep your core engaged and rise right back up using controlled strength. This prevents momentum from doing the work and forces your muscles, especially your glutes, to fire. As you stand, exhale, and drive through your heels. Imagine lifting your chest toward the ceiling rather than just pushing with your legs. This encourages proper alignment, protects your back, and prevents leaning forward too much. Try 8 to 12 repetitions. If it feels too easy, here are progression options. Hover squat. Instead of tapping the chair, stop 1 inch above the seat and rise back up. This adds a powerful muscle activation challenge. Slow down phase. Take 3 to 4 seconds to lower yourself. This increases strength by working the eccentric lowering muscles. Hands-free version. Cross your arms to keep yourself from pushing off your thighs. Narrow stance variation. Bring your feet closer together. This targets different stabilizers. Why is this exercise so important for adults over 60? Because it improves 3 functional abilities that determine long-term independence: rising from chairs without assistance, climbing stairs with more confidence, maintaining strong, healthy knee joints. Weakness in these areas is one of the earliest signs of mobility decline, but also one of the easiest too. Reverse with consistent chair squats. When you practice modified squats to chair regularly, you're training your body to stay capable, balanced, and independent for years to come. Now get ready. The next exercise is arguably the most powerful longevity movement on the entire list. We've now arrived at what I consider the cornerstone movement for anyone over 60, the bird dog. Along with a few smart progressions that elevate it from a simple floor exercise into a full-body powerhouse. If you've never heard of it, don't let the name fool you. This movement is widely respected by physical therapists, spine specialists, and mobility coaches because of its stunning ability to build balance, core strength, spinal stability, and coordination, all without putting stress on your joints. But here, SYS, especially powerful for older adults. The bird dog strengthens the deep stabilizing muscles that protect your lower back, hips, shoulders, and even your posture. These are the muscles that quietly keep you upright, steady, and moving safely. And they're usually the first to weaken with age. Let's start with the basic version. Begin on your hands and knees in a tabletop position. Your wrists should be under your shoulders and your knees directly beneath your hips. Before moving anything, take a long breath in and gently draw your belly toward your spine, not a hard bracing, just a soft tightening. This small detail wakes up your deep core layer, the one responsible for balance and spinal protection. Now comes the movement. Slowly extend your right arm forward while stretching your left leg straight back. But here's the twist I want you to add: Dan T. Rush to lift high. Instead, imagine reaching long in two opposite directions like you're trying to make your body grow an inch longer. This activates the stabilizers far better than simply lifting upward. Pause at the fully extended position for a moment, letting your body find balance. You may notice a slight wobble that's perfectly normal. It means the stabilizing muscles are being challenged. Lower your arm and leg slowly, then switch sides. Continue this alternating pattern for 10 to 12 controlled repetitions. Once the basic version feels comfortable, you can add progressions that dramatically increase its effectiveness. Progression 1. The micro hold. Hold the extended position for 3 full seconds, keeping your hips level. Feel the glutes, back muscles, and core turn on. Progression 2. The elbow. Tune a draw from the extended position. Draw your elbow and knee toward each other underneath your body, then stretch back out. This increases core engagement and teaches controlled movement. Progression 3. The balance lift. Lift your supporting hands slightly off the floor for half a second. This forces your stabilizers to work overtime. Progression 4. Elevated bird dog. Place your knees on a pillow or cushion. The unstable surface increases core activation without adding risk. These variations aren't just add-ons. They're intentional upgrades that help counter the effects of aging by improving 3 essential physical qualities. Dynamic balance, reducing fall risk, cross-body strength, important for walking and reaching. Spinal stability, keeping your back pain-free and supported when performed regularly. The bird dog builds a stronger, more resilient foundation for every movement you make. Many therapists call it a longevity exercise because it benefits almost every system involved in staying mobile and independent. In the next part, we peel back the science behind why these movements work and how they reactivate the exact muscle systems that age tries to shut down. Now that we've gone through all 5 exercises, it's time to pull back the curtain and look at why these movements work so well for adults over 60. Because here, something most people never hear. Your body isn't losing strength. All answer stability simply because you're getting older. Yes. Losing them because certain muscle systems become inactive when they aren't challenged in the right way. The exercises we learned in this series are specifically designed to reawaken the exact systems that age tends to shut down first. Let's start with one of the biggest hidden factors: neuromuscular decline. This is the gradual weakening of the communication pathway between your brain and your muscles. Think of it like a Wi-Fi signal that gets weaker over time if you dan to use certain devices. After 60, the brain naturally prunes unused connections, making movements slower, balance weaker, and reaction times longer. But here's the encouraging part. Research shows these pathways can be rebuilt at any age. Exercises like bird dog, heel raises, and controlled sit, 2 stands force the brain to fire specific stabilizing muscles, strengthening those communication lines. Next is muscle fiber shift. We have 2 main types of muscle fibers: slot twitch for endurance and stability, and fast twitch for power and quick movements. Once you pass 50, your body tends to lose fast-twitch fibers more rapidly. That's why quick movements become harder, getting up suddenly, catching yourself when you trip, changing direction while walking. But movements like modified squats and balance variations stimulate fast-twitch fibers enough to slow, stop, and even reverse this loss. Another key system is proprioception, your body's ability to sense where it is in space. It's the reason you can walk in the dark without falling, or step off a curb without staring at your feet. Unfortunately, proprioceptors weaken as we age. This is exactly why exercises like heel raises with balance challenge matter so much. They activate the tiny sensors in your ankles, feet, and hips that tell your body how to correct itself before you tip or stumble. Then, there's core stabilizer atrophy. The deep core ISNT or six-pack muscle, it's the layer underneath that works like an internal weight belt. When this system weakens, your back feels stiff, your balance worsens, and your walking becomes less efficient. The bird dog is scientifically proven to target these deep stabilizers safely, which is why therapists use it for everything from back pain recovery to fall prevention. We also need to talk about joint lubrication and cartilage nutrition. Many older adults avoid movement because of stiff knees, hips, or lower backs. But gentle, controlled exercises improve synovial fluid circulation. That's your body's natural joint lubricant. Movements like chair squats and standing wall push-ups increase nutrient flow into cartilage, which has no blood vessels of its own. Finally, there's hormonal and metabolic activation. Even light strength work increases signals that tell your body to maintain muscle, repair tissues, and form new neural connections. Taken together, these exercises don't just build strength, they restore systems that keep you independent, mobile, and confident in your body. In the final part, we'll wrap everything together with motivation, practical scheduling tips, and a simple weekly plan you can start immediately. You've now reached the final part of this series, and I want to start by saying this. You've made it through all the exercises, explanations, and progressions. You've already taken a powerful step toward protecting your strength, balance, and independence for years to come. Most people believe that once you hit your 60s, 70s, or beyond, decline is inevitable. But the truth is far more inspiring. Your body is capable of rebuilding strength and stability at any age, as long as it receives the right signals consistently. And that is exactly what these 5 exercises are. Targeted signals that tell your body to stay strong. Coordinated, mobile, and youthful in movement. Before we wrap up, let's give you a simple, realistic weekly plan so you can put everything into action without feeling overwhelmed. Remember, consistency matters more than intensity. Doing a little bit regularly is far more powerful than doing a lot once in a while. Your easy 7-day strength and stability plan for adults over 60. Day 1. Strength foundations, modified squats to chair, 2 sets, wall push-ups with hold, 2 sets heel raises with balance pause, -2 sets. Day 2. Core and balance day bird dog with 2 to 3 second holds, 2 to sets seated leg lifts with light resistance, 2 sets. Day 3. Active recovery gentle walk, light stretching, or household activities. Focus on staying relaxed and mobile. Day for strength and movement. Practice repeat. Day 1. If comfortable, try one harder progression for each exercise. Day 5, core stability and posture repeat. Day 2, add the elbow toonie bird dog variation if ready. Day 6, optional build-up day. Choose any 2 exercises you enjoy most and repeat them lightly. This keeps the body active without overloading it. Day 7, full rest. Let the body absorb the benefits. Recovery is part of the training. How to stay motivated here. Something important. Progress after 60 looks different than progress at 20 or 30. It is not about lifting the heaviest weight or sweating the hardest. It is about getting stronger in ways that actually matter in your daily life. Every time you perform a controlled squat, you're training your body to stand effortlessly from a chair. Every bird dog rep strengthens the deep stabilizers that protect your spine. Every heel raise teaches your ankles to react quickly and keep you balanced. Every wall push-up improves the strength you need for daily pushing movements. Every leg lift supports your walking speed and endurance. These small wins add up not just physically but mentally. They reinforce that you're still in control of your health, and that aging doesn't have to mean slowing down. It can mean training smarter, moving with intention, and giving your body exactly what it needs to thrive. Final message: you don't need a gym. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need long, exhausting workouts. You just need consistency, good form, and a willingness to invest a few minutes in yourself each day. If you commit to these exercises, even lightly, the next 30 to 90 days can transform your strength, confidence, posture, balance, and energy more than you might expect. Remember this: a stronger future is always possible, and it starts with the small choices you make today. Let's keep you moving, strong, and independent for many years ahead. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to stay active and stay strong. See you in the next video.